For as long as humans have existed, there have been individuals who claim they can see the future. Some refer to them as psychics, others as prophets. While many of these people have had predictions that were either vague or later proven false, there are cases where individuals made predictions that were so accurate they continue to attract attention. Here are 10 unusual prophecies that many believe actually came true. Number 10. Baba Vanga and 9/11. Baba Vanga was a Bulgarian woman who lost her sight at a young age and later claimed to have visions of future events. She is said to have made a prediction in 1989 about an attack that many believe referred to the events of September 11, 2001. In her prediction, she mentioned American brethren falling after being attacked by steel birds. Supporters of her prophecies interpret the American brethren as the Twin Towers and the steel birds as the airplanes used in the attack. Vanga made many predictions during her lifetime, and followers continue to reference her work. One of her more distant predictions is that humanity will become immortal in the year 4599. Number 9. The Titanic Prediction. Morgan Robertson wrote a fictional book in 1898 titled The Wreck of the Titan. The story centers on a large passenger ship named Titan, which sinks after striking an iceberg. Due to an insufficient number of lifeboats, many passengers and crew members die. The similarities between the Titan and the Titanic, which sank in 1912, are numerous. Both ships were of similar size, struck an iceberg in the same region, carried nearly the same number of passengers, and sank in the same month. In both cases, the ships went down bow first. Robertson's book was published more than a decade before the Titanic disaster, leading many to view the novel as an unintentional but striking prophecy. Number 8. Mark Twain and Halley's Comet. Mark Twain, whose real name was Samuel Clemens, is remembered as one of the most well-known writers in American history. However, Twain also made a notable statement about his own death. Born in 1835, the same year Halley's Comet appeared in the sky, Twain often spoke about the comet. In 1909, he said, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it." The following year, in 1910, the comet returned, and Twain died one day after it became visible. The timing of his death, in relation to the comet, has been interpreted by many as an unusual and accurate prediction. Number 7. The Death of Lincoln. President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865 by John Wilkes Booth. However, just days before his death, Lincoln shared a dream with his former law partner, Ward Hill Layman. In the dream, Lincoln said he walked through the White House and came across a body guarded by soldiers in the East Room. People had gathered to mourn, but Lincoln did not know whose body it was until he asked a soldier who replied, "The President." Lincoln described this experience as deeply unsettling. Only 3 days later, he was killed, making the dream seem like a personal prediction of his own fate. Number 6. Sharon Tate's Vision. Sharon Tate, an actress, was murdered by members of the Manson family in 1969. About a year before her death, she shared a strange experience that she believed might have been a vision. While on a film set in 1968, she was asked during an interview whether she had ever experienced anything psychic. She recounted an incident that took place while she was alone at home. Tate said she woke with an uneasy feeling and turned on the lights. She then claimed to see a man moving around the room. She believed it was the ghost of a Hollywood agent who had taken his life in the same building. She ran downstairs, where she said she saw the image of a woman with her throat cut. Tate said she wasn't sure if it was a dream or something else, but the details she described resembled what happened to her the following year. Number 5. Nostradamus and Hitler. Nostradamus is credited with predicting multiple major events in history, and some believe he described Adolf Hitler in one of his quatrains. In his writings, Nostradamus mentioned a leader from Germany and used the name Heister. Many view this as a reference to Hitler, although Heister was also a name for the Danube River in ancient times. He described this figure as using deception, and his writing contains references to rivers crossed by wild beasts, which some interpret as tanks used in warfare. The idea that Nostradamus predicted both Napoleon and Hitler, along with a future third Antichrist, has remained a topic of analysis and speculation. Number 4. Jeane Dixon and JFK. Jeane Dixon was an astrologer who claimed to have predicted the death of President John F. Kennedy. The assassination of President Kennedy in 1963 shocked the world. However, 7 years earlier, in 1956, Dixon made a prediction during an interview with Parade magazine. She stated that a United States president elected in 1960 would die in office. Critics often describe her prediction as vague and not specific, but Dixon insisted she had originally said the president would be assassinated. That part, she claimed, was not printed by the magazine due to its controversial nature. Although she did not mention Kennedy by name, she did describe the physical appearance of the president and indicated that he would be elected in 1960. This has led many to consider her prediction as a genuine foresight into the future. Number 3. The financial psychic. Laura Day, who prefers to call herself intuitive rather than psychic, claims to have predicted the 2008 financial crash. Over the 15 years leading up to that crash, she earned millions by advising people and organizations based on her sense of future events. According to Day, she had no formal knowledge of the stock market, but used her intuition to foresee fluctuations. She claims to have helped several major companies make decisions that protected them before the crash occurred. Although the economic collapse caused widespread effects, Day continues to work in the financial sector, and many believe in her ability to predict events. Number 2. The Christ prophecy. One of the most frequently discussed prophecies is the prediction of a Messiah found in the Old Testament. For many Christians, this prophecy came true through the life of Jesus Christ. Multiple parts of the Old Testament describe events that Christians believe align with moments in Christ's life. These include predictions that he would be born to a virgin, would be both accepted and rejected, would be betrayed by someone close to him, and would be executed. Isaiah 53, verse 8 contains a verse interpreted as describing the Messiah being judged and put to death. While believers view this as confirmation of the Bible's prophetic nature, skeptics argue that stories about Jesus may have been written in ways that align with earlier texts. Regardless of the debate, the similarity between the prophecy and the life described in the New Testament remains a point of interest. Number 1. Nostradamus and the Great Fire of London. Michel de Nostradame, commonly known as Nostradamus, was a French seer who published predictions in the form of 4-line verses called quatrains. One of these verses is believed to refer to the Great Fire of London, which occurred in 1666 and destroyed a large portion of the city over the course of 3 days. This particular prophecy was written more than 100 years earlier. Some argue that Nostradamus's verses were written in a vague and broad manner, similar to horoscopes, allowing them to be interpreted in many ways. Others suggest that he deliberately wrote in a cryptic style to avoid persecution for witchcraft. Whether his prediction was specific or not, it has been linked to the fire and is considered one of several events that his writings appeared to predict. These 10 prophecies have sparked debate among believers and skeptics alike. Whether they were truly glimpses into the future or coincidences shaped by interpretation, they remain stories that continue to capture attention.